What's poppin', y'all? We back with another episode of the Squid Games Aftermath podcast show. I'm your host, DeAndre Player 288, and with me I have one of my most special guests. He is a player, he is a baller, he is a shot caller. He does everything and more. And I can't even get through all the list of things that this man's doing for everybody in the community and society. Give it up for my man, Brad 337.
Hey, let's go, baby. Hey, first off, I
Ah,
gotta appreciate my boy DeAndre for just bringing me on, man, because he's such an amazing guy. And then just the spirit and energy when we were in the games was super contagious. So I'm just honored that he called me in to be a part of this platform so that I get to hang out with you guys.
hey, look now, we honored that you here, my brother. We honored that you here.
Hey, we family,
And
man.
so,
We family all day.
hey, that's right. That's right. One band, one sound
Yeah,
settings, you
absolutely.
know?
Yeah, absolutely. You already know. I can play the trombone, baby. If you gotta play the saxophone, I got you.
Hey, I got it. I got it. I got it. So we gonna get right into it, man. Why did you apply for Squid Games, the challenge?
Cause I had to do it, man. Like I did American Ninja Warrior first, so for 2 years in a row, I did season 13 and season 14, and it was the most insane, challenging, physical competition I've probably ever done. And so after watching the whole entire Squid Game show, I mean, I thought it would be dope to do it in real life. So when I saw a casting come to my inbox, I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm definitely applying for this. But I had no clue that they were actually going to be doing like a reality show based off of it. So to be honest, I don't even know how it got to my inbox or why it was even sent to me in the first place. But all I know is that I said, oh, I'm applying like immediately. I was like, I got to do this. Let me see what they're going to try to throw at me. Because anything that's a challenge, like I had to do it just because I'm always curious about seeing like what I can overcome and like what I can achieve when it comes to any particular obstacles that are thrown my way. So it had me intrigued, and I was like, hey, let's give it a shot, see what happens.
Hey, he said, I'm gonna come through here with, show what's going on. I'm got that black mama mentality, so I might as well come on through here and show people what's up. I like that. Okay.
Yep, all day.
So you apply, you find out you get on the show, months pass, and then it's getting ready to leave. You find out, and so it's the night before you're about to leave home and get in the airport. What are you thinking about that last night when you packing and whatnot?
Oh, I'm just like, hey man, I can't wait to go. I'm literally the whole time thinking, hey, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be overseas. We going to London. Gonna be able to hang out, see some sights. Now that shit didn't happen. Hey, they're like, look, you about to bring your ass directly to this hotel, sit in this room, quarantine, don't talk to nobody, don't even look at nobody. They're like, I don't care if you're on the lunch line with this particular crew member or this cast person. Like, just give them the peace sign and keep it moving. I was like, hey, y'all are super strict. Like, it was wild.
Yeah, they said enjoy this little view you got from your hotel room. Hopefully you got the bridge. I did not, unfortunately. I got the boats. If you had the
Yep, I got
boats,
the boats, bro. I didn't
you get
get
the
the
boats.
bridge. I got the boats too. I was like, let me look at this harbor.
See, I kept hearing people in lunch line talking about the bridge, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me!" And so I snuck around the hallway and found a view of the bridge, and I was just sitting there for like hours just watching it. So
Yeah, that
it
bridge is
was
actually
nice.
really dope though. I can't lie. Like it's fire.
Oh yeah,
So
perfect.
funny thing is, I was literally in London probably like a few months right before we had to go in to compete because my wife's birthday was like in June, and she was like, "Hey, let's go ahead and let's go to London and go hang out." And so we just went out there because we just go to a whole bunch of different countries. So we just got to see all the good sights, and it was good because like I literally was like, "Damn, these are the same spots that me and my girl went to." Before I even got to come out here for the show. So it was just fun just being able to at least know that I got to see it before they locked us down and said, y'all can't see anything.
100%, man. Well, that's good. You got a little familiarity going on, so okay, he's a little
Yeah,
comfortable.
just a little
So
bit.
we spend a couple days in there, and then it's getting ready to. It's time to go. So the last night in the hotel, when you know that you're getting up early the next morning, what are you thinking when they tell you what's going through your mind that last night, getting ready for the first to get started? I guess.
I was just thinking, hey, a bunch of people are about to play red light, green light, and I don't know how insane this is about to be, but I know it's about to be a straight freaking cluster fluff. Hey,
Hey.
because I was like, once we get out there, it's gonna be cutthroat. Every man for himself. Everybody's gonna be trying to go hard. Like you could probably get trampled in a stampede. to be honest, I really didn't know how things were gonna go down. I was just like, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna get wild, and we'll probably just have to see how they decide to set it up and how massive the scale. Because I really wanted to see that doll. Because I was like, let's see how crazy the doll's gonna look, and then how massive the actual opening where we had to actually run was gonna be. Because I was like, man, how massive is the space gonna be? And that thing was massive.
Yeah, no, it was huge. So it jumps me into my next thing is like, so we get in there and you know it's red light, green light. You can see from the tents what it is. But when you first step in the red light, green light arena, what's going through your head?
Oh, I was just taking in the production. I was like, wow, they literally recreated this entire set. Like that was amazing. I was like, wow, they really actually made this look like the show. And I figured they probably would, but it's way different when you're just seeing it in your head from actually seeing it in person. So I was like, damn, we about to really do this. And it was just ominous. It had that feeling of like anything can go down, anything could happen. And it just put you in that mind frame of like, hey, we're here now, so it's game time.
Yeah, no, the set was unreal. I don't know. I wish I could go back and see it again, just to play for fun. But that set was that kind of showed you like, okay, this is the real deal. This ain't no hickory dickory dock version of the show. Like this is legit. So we get ready to go. We get a little practice run, and so we get back in line. So what's your strategy going into this?
Hey, that practice run kind of freaked me out. I don't know how you felt about it, but I was just like, as soon as we took off and I saw how everybody ran, I said, oh, now this is going to be really interesting. I saw people already getting trampled, getting pushed to the side, folks getting elbowed. I said, oh, Lord. I was in the middle. So I was in the front middle where I was only maybe like 2 rows behind the people in the front. And so I was like, I can't run too fast because I don't want to push the people in front of me, but I can't run too slow because I'm going to get trampled by the people behind me. So it was that weird imbalance of trying to figure out exactly like what my speed needed to be. So I kind of went with the flow of like as soon as that doll started singing, I was like, let me see if I can try to like, run at the pace of the people in front of me. Cause at least the people behind me, they might try to overshoot me, but I don't want to trip over somebody in front of me versus worry about the people behind me.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was you had to worry about the people around. Like you drive in a car, essentially. You got to look at everything. So that was the one, denominator where it was out of your control, I guess, in that game. So we get
Mhm.
started, and the doll turns ahead, and the first song goes. Excuse me. And you get to the first spot. And so 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed, 15 minutes passed. What's
Oh,
going on
bro.
in your head?
When I was sitting there, I was just like, are they gonna do this for like the next 20 rounds? Because I was like, if they do, I was like, I'm screwed. Like I literally felt like my feet were gonna freaking break off. I felt like my hands were gonna literally wilt away. Like I've never been that cold before in a situation to where like my whole body's freezing. And the weird thing about red light, green light is that like for us to be in those particular conditions, it's insane to force all that blood to flow through your body in order to go to a full-on sprint. Like people don't realize how hard it is just to even crank up a car in freezing cold and try to get the car to start. You're trying to get your body to force blood to rush through all of your veins, activate each muscle, full sprint, and then stop and then let it cool all the way back down to freezing temperatures again at 30 minutes, and then start it back up again at full blown intensity. Like just thinking about doing that is so insane. You know when people like do CrossFit and they have like muscle tears and spasms and all that stuff, like that's kind of one of those situations what your body's going through. It's literally going from a state of absolute zero to absolute like inferno. Like you gotta
Yeah.
go from freezing cold to just absolute fire, just push it and hit it. So none of us really physically thought we could even do that. It was just straight mind over matter. Like that's all it was. You had to have an outer body experience. You saw your spirit floating in front of you. You're looking down at your body. You're like, hey, please, please, God, just let my body go through.
Yeah. No, you described it perfectly. I mean, I never even thought about the blood rush thing where it's like everything stops and then you just got to go. Like that could, you could pull something like or hurt, injure yourself too. So that was, yeah, you described it perfectly. Your description's probably been the best one of red light, green light thus far with the car analogy. So you
Yeah.
moving along. go, you making it through the game and what, or making it through this particular game and whatnot, and you get close to the line. What's going on in your head when your line is in sight and reach?
Oh, so I was the second wave to cross right after Teo. So I saw Teo go through it and I looked at him. I was like, man, I was like, it's so dope that somebody finally made it out of this torture. So I'm thinking to myself, I was far away enough to where I didn't necessarily have enough space to potentially make it. So I could have easily gotten eliminated. But at that point, because I had been doing it for like about 5 hours already, I was like, hey, I don't care, man. I can't wait anymore, man. I literally looked at the house to the right, and the house to the right was kind of like a little gauge of like how far it was from the finish line. And it was the very last house that goes before the finish line. And I looked at the distance between that and the and crossing over, and I was like, okay, maybe if I mean I had to go full blown, like literally like the Flash. I'm about to stop time and just
Mm.
literally just zone out and just push it to the absolute limit. So I remember when the song cut on, and literally I made my body go into like this insane freaking like I don't know, it was like an insane flow of momentum that just rushed over me, and I sprinted faster than I probably ever sprinted in my entire life. And remember, that's 5 hours after being drained. But I was like, I cannot wait any longer. I have to get across this line. So all of a sudden, I just go, and and I go so fast because I'm in the center that I almost tackled the doll. Like I ran up to the doll and I came down and I remember jumping past the line and I almost grabbed the doll around the legs. I said, "Oh shit, Netflix is gonna get pissed because I'm about to tackle the hell out of this doll." I was about to knock it flat over, bro. Like it was insane. So I go full speed. I go to the doll and then I spin around like this, so I can lay down and I don't hit it. And it's funny because I remember the guards looking at me. And they're like, "Dad, he almost took that doll out for real." Like this is about to be crazy. And then
Oh,
after that, like, I was like, I remember laying there and I stood back up and I was like, oh, Jesus Lord, I made it. But I didn't expect them to eliminate people after crossing because we hadn't seen that yet. So because I was wave number two, we're all dapping each other up. So we like, yeah, yeah, we made it. We're like, Teo now, that's what's up. And then all of a sudden, the girl that I had hugged, like a few seconds later, boom, her chest explodes. I was like, oh shit. I was like, so we can still get popped? And then the voice came on the intercom and was like, yeah, like we got to make sure that we deliberate each person, making sure that you cross the finish line before the song stopped. And then after they deliberated for her, they realized that she didn't cross. Like she crossed after the song had already finished. So they went ahead and eliminated her. And we all looked at each other. We were like, bro, this is so savage. Like you did all that work, got across the finish line, went through all that torture, and got popped at the end. Like that's the worst feeling in the world.
yeah, no, that would. I probably would lose sleep for a whole year with that happen. Like that. Oh God, I can't even want to imagine that feeling. I feel horrible for those people and that girl.
Oh
It's funny because you know, they didn't show it too much, but in the episode when the first girl gets out, you can clearly see she's moving after everyone else has stopped. I went and watched this a couple times, and it's like it's
hmm
blunt. Some people is bluntly obvious, like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
it's clear as day. And so I wish they would just kind of show. They would have showed more of the bluntness of people moving after the song stopped. That's I
Yeah.
just want. I keep saying release the tapes, man. They need to release the tapes.
Oh, they got to, man. There's so much footage they took, man. We could have had like they could literally do a whole documentary just on like the processes of the stuff that we went through, and
Yeah,
people would actually literally watch it because it's such a crazy experiment that it would just be amazing just as like a side series.
yeah,
Like it
hundred
should be
percent.
like inside the Squid Game show or whatever.
Yep, and just put that, show the raw footage, no editing. I just want to see. You can
hmm
just keep it going from when the doll turns his head and when it doesn't. That's all I want to see, and that could only take
Yep.
like 10 minutes, maybe if that.
hmm Yeah.
So that would be the coolest thing.
That would be
But
so.
our friend 337 makes it through the first game victorious. He's on
Let's
his way to the
go.
next round, just as planned. Everything's going exactly like he
hmm
thought it would, except for the crazy game. So we get on up out of there and we head back to the hotel. Then it's time to go to the dorms the next day. So when you first step into the dorms and you see everything, what's going through your head?
Oh, bro, I looked at that thing and I was like, oh, they can't have not have made this set any more perfect than this. Like it completely blew my mind. Like I was speechless, but it shows on the show where I'm like, oh my God. Like this is really how my face looks. And then I do a Michael Jackson spin around, which I was like, what was I doing? But thinking about how excited I was when I saw it, and then it showed me like climbing up on the beds. I was like, we out here, baby, we out here. And I was like, man, I was literally just overjoyed. Like I could tell that I was just on cloud 10. But yeah, it was. I mean, it was amazing. I had never seen anything like that in my entire life, and I was just like, this is really, really cool. Just being able to say that I'm living inside the actual games. Like we're
Yeah,
here, we're in Squid Game. This is exactly what we saw on the show like two
yeah,
years ago, and we're in it.
yeah. It was kind of surreal just seeing it. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just was expecting a dumbed down version of the real thing. I never expect. I mean, I've been on movie sets and whatnot. I never expect the real thing, but to get the real thing was just like mind blowing and like wow, they actually did it. And yeah, it was the
What you
same
know what's
thing as.
crazy? Look, this is crazy too. So you know how we have all like the different pictures on the wall that are like
Mhm.
on the show? So me and my boy Matt, we were walking around because we were like, look, we gotta play detective. We gotta see if we can figure out some clues, some hints to figure out. We figured out Battleship day one. Like we literally talked to each other. We were like, "Hey man, do you see that on the wall?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Doesn't it look like a boat?" We were like, "Yeah." But you know what? What kind of child's game do they have with a boat or ships? And we looked at each other. We was like, Battleship. And we were like, we're probably gonna play Battleship. And then we were just popping. Look, this was literally within the first like 30 minutes of going into the dorms. And so I remember production was talking to us like, how the hell did they figure this out? Like, how would they figure this out that quick? I was
Wow.
like, the hints are on the wall, and it looked like a weird, like you saw two people, and it was like a weird, like little triangle looking shape with like
Hmm.
the line, and we just assumed that it had to be a boat. I don't know. For some reason, for us, we were like, it looked like a boat. And after just talking about it, we was like, man, we're gonna be playing Battleship, bro. It's gonna be crazy. So to actually see it and the fact that we actually played Battleship, oh, I popped because I remember how it was when I went in there. But I know we're gonna get to that part. So,
Yeah, we'll get there. That's cool that you kind of had that recognition. So it sounds like you guys kept it to each other though, for the most part.
oh, we did. Yeah, it was between
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, because I didn't hear a peep of anyone even suspect. You know, word travels, and I didn't hear a scent of that. So that was kudos to you for keeping that. So yeah, we're in there for a little bit. Who's kind of the people that you kind of initially garner towards and get comfortable with?
All right, so Hikmet, he was my boy, and he actually went in with you for the cookie decision process, and which I know we're gonna get to that too, which was freaking wild.
Yeah.
And then my boy Charlie, player 344, and then my
Yep.
boy Rob, player 339. So we were all super cool, super close. So we all gravitated towards each other like really quick and
Okay.
started
Okay.
like thinking about different craziness that could pop up and going over different strategies. But really, I went around talking to everybody. I can't lie. I tried to literally at least have a conversation with as many people as I could, but it was so many people, it was hard to talk to everybody. But I tried to at least get to as many people as I could because I knew that was one of the things that was going to be really helpful just getting through the games, just learning everybody's personalities, getting to know who everybody was, and just being social, so at least people would know who you were.
Yeah. No, it's very important. I definitely remember seeing you walking around and very, very, kindly going up to everybody and kind of just surveying the crowd, and it's just very smart. I was trying to do a similar thing right there, but like you said, it's very, you don't just want to go up to somebody, ask their name, and then walk away. You got to have like a
Mhm.
conversation and, get to know them a little bit just to build a base rapport with certain people. So, and it takes time and energy, which is a big thing. And then you want to hang out with your peoples too. So it's like, it
Mhm.
was like a job getting around to people. So you definitely did your best doing that. So we spent, you get in there, whatnot, and so go to sleep for a few nights until it's time to wake up for the second game. And so
Mhm.
we walk into this white room, and when we get in this white room, we have four lines. What are you thinking when you get in this white room?
Oh, I'm just like, hey, we got cookies coming up. So maybe one of these numbers is going to determine the shape that we have. So I'm like, I don't know which one we should stand behind, but I saw Zach, I saw Matt, and I saw Rob, and I saw Charlie. And they were all in line three. So I was like, you know what? I got to go with my boys because by the time I got in, they were already at the front of the line. And so I was just like, all right, well, hell, hey, I'm going to wherever they are. So I just went right to where my boys were, which is crazy because by the time we got to the whole deliberation situation, them taking like the first person, at the beginning of each line. I was the fourth person to go. So after Charlie and Brighton had went up, I was like, damn, if they don't make it, I got to go next too. And I was like, oh, I don't want to go through this because, bro, that part was so savage. Like what happened to you and what happened to Matt and what happened to everybody like before and Zach. I was like, damn, man. I was like, Squid Games ain't playing no games. Like that could have happened like another 10 times.
Yeah.
You know, we
It-
could have lost like 50 people just deciding on which shape it could have been.
yeah, that would have been crazy. They probably would have been like, all right, guys, stop.
I know they were like, guys, all right now, y'all pick a shape, man. Y'all tripping.
I always
Like,
wonder if something crazy like that. Like there is possibilities that everyone could have been eliminated in red light, green light. Everyone could have been eliminated in Dalgona just based off what you said. Everyone could have been eliminated uh what's the other game?
warships.
Not warships, but the
Glass
bridge.
bridge.
The bridge.
Yep, glass
So I
bridge.
always think about those scenarios of like, well, I wonder what like they would have done if this thing would have happened, but I guess we'll never know. But always went through my head. But yes, so first line goes, you find out, boom, it's not the exact same as the show. You got to pick a shape, they're out. Second line goes, boom, they're out. Third line goes, and you ultimately end up receiving the star. How are you feeling about the star?
Well, I was super confident about any shape, so it didn't matter what I got. I was gonna cut it out.
So
Cause
if it
the
was your
thing is,
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh no, the thing is, my wife, she actually bought me 16 cookies before I went into the game. So
Okay.
I already knew the strategy on how to cut them out, the best technique to do it, like all that stuff. And it's funny because more people actually pass star than triangle because I brought everybody together as a group. And I was like, guys, I'm going to teach y'all how to cut this out. Like, I want to show y'all how to pass this. Like, my whole thing was I love helping people. That's how I am in real life. And I can't not help people. Like, it's just not in me to do it. So I was like, man, let me see if I can help as many people as possible get to the next round. And I'm going to show these guys the techniques to get through. And I remember production was like, why would you do that? Because they're like, we don't know why so many people are getting through Star. This is wild. I was like, look, I put everybody in a circle, and they didn't show this on the show, but I literally put 15 people in a circle around me, and I was sitting in the middle, and I was showing them exactly how to cut it out. I was showing them the best technique, exactly what to do, exactly how to do it, and I sat there with everybody the entire time to make sure that they all got out. So when I cut my cookie out, I literally had finished it like super fast. And then I looked at everybody else and I pretended to still cut the cookie out because I knew if I showed it to them, they're going to take me out and say that I passed. So I pretended like I was still doing it and I waited till everybody in my circle got out before I actually went up and turned my cookie in. And I remember Charlie only had like 10 seconds left. And I was like, Charlie, keep spitting, bro. I was like, come on, bro, you're almost there. Charlie was like, no, I'm going to die. I was like, you're not going to die today. Today is not the day. Spit your ass off. The only other time you're going to hear me tell you to spit as much as you can is right now. Spit your ass off until you fill that thing up with water and cut that damn thing out. We going back to the dorms. And Charlie was like, he was like, okay. It was so
That's
funny. He was
hilarious.
spitting on overdrive. And after that, he finished it. He had like literally like 5 seconds. And then
Ah,
we got up out of there. And then that was it. Because I was like, I can't lose my dog. He was the last one. I was like, Charlie, why are you the last one, bro? Like, I should be out of here already. But your ass is dicking around. Like, come on, Charlie.
he was trying to make dramatics for TV. He
Yeah,
wanted that
man.
camera time, but they didn't
Hey,
give it to him.
but they still didn't show us. That's the funny thing.
I
Like it
know
would have
they.
been so cool to see, but they didn't show it to us. So I was like, oh well, I guess they didn't want to. They didn't want to see it.
They kind of like really breezed through Star real quick on the show, and I was like, dang, like they just out.
They did. It's
So,
because they showed the girl who eliminated player 200 with the blonde hair. I
yep,
can't remember what her name was again,
yep.
but they kind of focused on trying to show how the karma thing came around and got her after she got rid of somebody. Like, okay, now you can't get through Star, and then now you get to go home because you sent somebody home. And
Yeah,
so that was the whole storyline they were trying to project.
yeah. They missed out on the good stuff that Brad was
I know,
doing,
man. I
man.
know, bro. Your boy was going
Ah,
hard. I was like,
God,
give your boy some
man.
shine.
Release the tapes, coach. Release the tapes
Give
and
us
give a
some
brother
tapes.
some
Give us
limelight.
some
Come
tapes,
on.
baby.
We need to see it.
I know, bro.
So, player 337 advances past the cookie. He is taking control of the game, whether the producers like it or not.
Yep. I was like, let's go, producer. We getting this
He's-
done.
exactly. So, you get back in the dorms, and then all of a sudden, a little while later, a phone pops up. A phone booth pops up. Are you thinking about picking up this phone?
Oh hell nah. Tell everybody, don't touch that shit. I was like, if y'all touch that, y'all are going home. Just letting you know. I don't care what they do. Which of course, 198 picks up the phone first. He gets his treat. Then everybody starts coming with the hamburgers, which y'all need to get off my girl Jada. I'm telling y'all, get off Jada. Y'all don't understand. 198 was being such a huge dick to everybody, and they didn't even show it. What they did was they cut it and they made it look like he just had beef with Brighton, who's player 432. But the thing is, this guy literally trolls people for a living. Like he torments people in real life. And people get mad at Jada for taking the burger. Jada actually shared the burger with everybody. They only cut it to where it showed her picking it up and walking away taking one bite. But after that one bite, she literally gave it away and shared it with like 20 people. So your girl really helped a lot of folks out when he was trying to make sure he was trying to screw people over. So either way, get off my girl Jada. Now outside of that, like he got savage up in there because they didn't show the other phone rings. There was literally multiple other phone rings where people had got like pizza, people got donuts. So people were just getting like, prizes and gifts. So folks was like, oh man, we got to pick up that phone because we want to get something to eat because they knew we were starving. Like we were in there so damn hungry. And because we were starving to death, like they knew that we would do anything that it took to get some of that food. And so psychologically, I'm already like knowing they're trying to set us up because as they continue to give us gifts, something's not going to be a gift. Something's going to be like an elimination. So I kept telling people, y'all stop picking up that phone. Don't be drinking the Kool-Aid. It's Kool-Aid for now, but then that's going to turn into some damn salt. And your ass going to be salty as hell when you got to go home.
Hey, y'all need to listen to Brad, man. He knows what's going on in the game. Keep your head in the game like Charles Bolton. Come on now.
Yeah, man, you can't fall for them tricks, bro. They be coming for you. I said, can't do it.
Well, friend 198 sadly did not listen to you, and you had to be escorted out of here quickly like an Amazon box. And that's the end of his time out of here. It's funny, I actually heard this could or not be true. He can't eat meat, I think, and so he wasn't going to eat the burger anyways.
Yeah, because he kept asking if it was halal since
Yeah.
that was part of his religion, and so they weren't answering if it was a halal burger or not. So that's another reason why people were taking this food because it was like, if he can't eat it, we gonna eat it anyway.
Yep.
So
That's
that was another reason why people were like, we gonna take all this food because he's saying right now that if it's not halal, I can't eat it, and they weren't telling him if it was or not. So if he didn't know, he was gonna give it. He was gonna have to give it away because he couldn't do it unless it was confirmed to be that.
Yep. And that's also kind of like, okay, maybe I should not pick up this phone again type thing. But hey, curiosity killed the cat and curiosity killed 198. So if y'all curious like that and keep messing with things, stay in your own lane, kind of mind your business. It's good to kind of get exploring and whatnot, but just chill sometimes, y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta
Chill.
chill. Yeah, take it on in first. Let somebody
Exactly.
else be the bait. And you just sit there and
Exactly.
watch and see if a fish get reeled in.
100%. So we move on, and it is time to go to sleep and then wake up and then go to the next game. And the next game is we enter the white room, and there are 8 lines. What is going on in your head when you get in this white room this time?
Well, I'm sitting over here thinking, I'm like, look, this is how it looked when they had to play tug of war. They set it up exactly how it was on the show. So I was like, oh, we about to go tug of war. So everybody's running around trying to figure out, like, whose team to be on. Funny thing is, I had talked to Riley and Brighton, and they said they wanted me and Charlie on their team, along with a whole bunch of other strong players that were pulling together. But because it was so intense and everybody was choosing so quick, like people ran up to Brighton and Riley and everybody else super fast. People ran up to TJ's group super fast. And so there was literally only 2 lines in there. Out of all them 8 lines, there's like 2 lines. You pretty much had TJ's group, you had Brighton's group. And then me and Charlie looked at each other. It was like, man, these folks playing, man. Let's make our own line. We literally went over to number 3 and made our own line. As soon as we made our own line, then everybody who we knew jumped in with us. So then we had Favor, then we had Preston, then we had Malik, and we had several other people, Rob, that all jumped up on our line. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, shoot, we got more folks coming in, but then we had a lot of girls too. So we were like
Yep.
50-50. It was like half women, half guys. So we were like, hey, whatever happens, we going to make it work regardless. So everybody's filling into the room, and then everybody starts figuring their lines out. And then all of a sudden, they start pulling the damn ball up out of the box. And I saw when they picked us first, because I was the first one to get picked. They picked line number 3. Then he was moving his hand in the box. He picked a number, put it back. Then picked something else and put it back. I said, I see exactly what y'all trying to do. I was like, y'all trying to set us up to play freaking Brighton's team. And literally they went in there and then they pulled one. I was like, I looked at Charlie. I was like, hey man, they set us up, bro.
Man, I said this in an earlier podcast. I don't trust these things that we can't see. These things
Exactly.
that, are hidden and then of course shown.
Yeah, bro, you just
That's
don't
all.
know.
That's just all it is. I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I
Mhm.
think they had an idea once everybody got set. They keep you guys there for a while till they actually, do the whole ball picking up thing. And so seeing everyone who's in what lines, and maybe it could be like, okay, we want this matchup, coach. So who knows?
Yeah.
That's just my speculation. I could be completely wrong, but
Oh no,
I
you
just
on the
think,
money. No, I'm
yeah.
telling you this. You were 100% right because I promise you, we were looking at the hand. It moved around, picked something, put it back. Pick something else, like, nah. And I'm like, the mask is looking down, so I'm like, he's looking at it like, I need to find number one. Oh, here's number one, and he pulls it out. But of course, the
Yeah.
editing on the show looks like he just pulled one out randomly, and that's what it was. So we stand up. I look at Brighton, they look at us, and they don't even talk about our conversation. But Brighton was like, "I'm sorry, Brad, man. We about to take you. I hate the fact that it has because he was mad. Like he didn't want to play me. I didn't want to play him. But I was like, bro, you don't know what's about to happen. So hey, you can't count us out yet because whatever the twist is gonna be, I guarantee you it's gonna be in our favor. So let's go.
Let's go. And so that's what we do. We walk into the room, and it isn't tug of war. It is battleships or warships, as they like to call it. So when you first see this setup, what's going on in your head?
Bro, you know I popped because I was like, we called this shit day one. We called it day one. The first 30 minutes in the doors, we said we was playing battleships, and here we are playing battleship. Bro, we popped, like we exploded, like it was insane. Like I literally didn't jump so hard at anything that whole entire time in my life like I did there. And people was like, Brad, like, why are you so excited? I was like, do y'all realize this is battleship? They was like, what's battleship? I was like, man, see, none of y'all was playing board games in school like y'all should have been. Cause half of y'all younger than me. So I'm 41. So I'm like, during my time in school, we were playing stuff like Battleship and freaking Twister and Monopoly and all that stuff.
Foursquare,
So
all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, man, Battleship was my game. So I was like, hey, I'm good at this. I played this many a times. And so then everybody looked at me and they're like, oh, we got to pick a captain. They was like, Brad, you're the captain. You're the captain. I was like, first off, I was like, hey, I appreciate y'all because I was like, I really want to be the captain. I know I'm going to rock it. But I didn't have to say a word, bro. I didn't have to say not one word. Everybody said, Brad, you're the captain. Like, that's it. No questions asked. And I remember production coming to us. They were like, can you guys talk about it a little bit more or give us more exposition of why you guys want to pick Brad? They was like, hell nah, Brad. Yeah. Hey, we all made up our minds. It's Brad. We know he knows this game and we know he's gonna take us to victory. So let's just go with Brad.
Like, come on now. Come on now, Black Panther,
Hey,
taking the
you go ahead.
reins.
Hey man, I
This
had to
thing,
get busy with it, baby.
he
Let's
got
go.
in the sand and went down there, got his ancestors all with him, and they was giving him the power to come back up. Okay, I see you.
All day.
This man came up. Okay, I like that. They say, look, ain't no questions. And so you
Mhm.
was the captain. So how did you decide you're a lieutenant? I will ask.
So Chaz was the only one who put his hand up when I asked who had experience playing Battleship. So it was an easy choice. He was like, "Hey, I know how to play." He was the only one to raise his hand, so you the only one to come up here. So come on up, bro. I was like, "It's me and you." So
Okay,
he
simple
comes
as
up.
that. Oh, go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So no, you're good. No, he comes up, and then after that, we sitting there talking to each other. I was like, "Bro, how many times you played?" He's like, "I played a lot." I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "We about to rock the hell out of this. We about to destroy their asses." We were talking mad shit to each other. He was like, "Bro, we are about to dominate this match. Like it's gonna be insane."
Yep. And so you become captain, and then 178 is your lieutenant. Jesus. So they say to win the game, captain must fire missiles at the other team. Players eliminated when the entire ship is sunk. Only 2 ships are sunk, then the other team wins. So you are going against Jesse's team, who 220. She is the captain on the other squad, and 352 is the lieutenant. So when you guys get this game started, you shoot missiles, miss after miss after miss after miss. So this is ultimately, it's a game of luck at the end of the day. Like there's a little strategy because you're trying to look into the other person's mind. But I kept saying I wish they would have had a camera on the other captain and lieutenant, like each other team could see their faces, because reading
Yeah.
faces is a big thing, and that would have been like a very, very big strategy part instead of just blindly firing. So did you have any kind of like just somewhat strategy picking the places that you picked, the spots?
Yeah, so I actually talked about my strategy as soon as we started the game. They just didn't play it. But the thing is, I was like, most people actually attack in a 3x3 matrix, which B said the exact same words. The same words that I had said at the beginning of my match was the same words that B had used during her match. And I was like, this is so funny because they made mine seem a little bit different as far as like how I did my strategy versus how she did hers. But I went through the whole exposition of how Battleship works and why you should pick specific coordinates because most people have a higher probability of putting their ships in those particular areas, especially if they just don't know battleships well, they're not familiar with it. And so within those quadrants, that's where I had got my first hit because I was like, they're definitely going to be like literally right here. Now, of course, it's still a chance you still know for sure, but if you're just thinking about how people will position like their boats on the board anyway, they don't want to stay where they were at the beginning. Most people are still going to take their ships away from the starting position because they actually line all of our ships in the back right corner. So it was like that on both sides. So I knew they weren't going to be really placing them in the back right corner. They're going to go to the top left corner because that's the furthest spot away. And psychologically, I'm thinking that's probably what's going to happen. And that's the reason why I went with like, my first two initial shots was the first one missed, the second one hit. And so I was like, they're going to be in one of these two spots. And sure hell enough, they was in one of them two spots. And I was like, boom, got that ass. Let's go. That was when I hit
Yep.
the 5-star boat.
Yep. You hit the 5-star boat and continued to hit it again and again and again. Like it was the American Revolution and you were sinking the British ships. And so you eliminate 68, 41, 422, 447, and 452. They're blood on your hands at this point. Then the blue ship sinks one of your ships, the 4 boat, 142, 188, 389, and 343. So it's tied up 1-1. The pressure's hitting a little bit. It's getting a little hot up in here. And so ultimately, a little time passes and you get another hit on C4, which is 432. So when you get this hit on the second boat, what are you feeling like now?
So the funny thing is, I was actually going to hit the Australians boat because I knew they were right there at that one specific coordinate. And when I watched it on the show, I was like, damn, I actually was about to take them out because that was the exact coordinate I was going to go for. The only reason I switched up my strategy and went for Brighton's boat is because I heard them. Because you could listen to people on the other side of the wall, and they were telling us, like, look, if y'all are quiet, you don't have to worry about anybody hearing you. When they started talking and yelling and saying some craziness, I said, wait a minute. I really feel like they're in C4. And I was like, you know what? C4 stands for an explosive. So I'm like, shit, I'm going to drop the C4 on that ass and go for coordinate C4. And that's exactly what I did. And I said it the same way on the show. Let's drop the C4 on that ass. And
That's
boom, right on Brighton's ship.
Right on that. So I'm going to ask you real quick, what did you hear them saying?
Oh, I just heard the talking. I didn't hear specific words, but I could just hear them talking. And so I was like, I'm pretty sure they're at this specific coordinate while I could hear their voices on the other side of the wall.
Yep,
So they
because you're
kind of
right up
gave
on.
away their location just by talking. And I couldn't tell what it was, but I'm like, they were saying something.
Yeah, you could kind of hear what side of the area they're onto, and that definitely helps a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you hit them, and their captains, they start, getting a little, they start, getting a little upset about that, of course, as anyone would. And so they hit one of your boats after that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so now the pressure's on. It's getting tight. So when they hit your boat right after that, are you feeling like, uh-oh, like I gotta get this next one?
Oh, yeah. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, dang, man, we really going down to the wire with this one. Because I was like, man, I figured I was going to sink their boat before they even found my next ship. So when they found it, I was like, ugh. I was like, oh, so we really about to do this, huh? This is going to be the shot clock, the 3 seconds from the third freaking yard line. Had to go ahead and shoot that freaking 3-pointer to win the game. I was like, oh, if that's what's going to have to happen, that's what's going to have to happen.
Well,
It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, our friend 337 shoots the shot like Jordan did against the Utah Jazz in the NBA Finals, and it wins the game winner. You eliminate 270 and 432, and the crowd goes crazy. It's lit up in there. There's a party. It was an after party. It was an after party.
Oh,
And
bro,
this
it
was
went
lit.
wild. And it's funny because Brighton was pissed off. So people on my team were talking trash because they were celebrating when he got eliminated. And then Brighton was like, "Y'all want to say all that shit to my face? Y'all want to sit over here and talk all that trash?" Now they gave you short form on what they showed on the show, but the long form, and he blew his top. And I was like, "Oh man," I felt bad for my boy because it's funny at the very end. He was like, "I love you, Brad," and I was like, "I love you, Brighton," because I was like, he was still my guy, but I had no clue that was him. Just like he didn't know I was the captain. Like he had no clue. It could have been anybody. So he wasn't really sure who was up there or who was actually, calling the shots, whatever the case may be. And so everything made it, so dynamic because you were really blind the entire time. So
Yeah.
so it got wild, bro. But we celebrated like crazy. We celebrated like we won the Super Bowl. We came back into the dorms. We running around, losing our minds, hugging each other, going crazy. It was so dope.
Yeah, no, it was lit. I mean, definitely the most exciting part of the episode right there was just like kind of the climax, I think, of everything, even more than Trey and Leanne's game. Your guys' was definite because your guys' was just I think you guys' game probably took up the majority of the episode as it should have because it was just so intense, and it was the first game
It
too,
was the
so you
first
guys are the
one.
test dummies for everyone, even though they didn't know,
Yeah.
but still it's the first one. So congratulations, 337 is moving on. He's taking clocks, taking names, and got a little blood on his stains, so we
Hey,
keep it
all
on
day.
going. And so it goes from 118 to 73 people, and then the guards come out then and say there will be 2 more tests before the next game, and the test will happen in front of the entire dorm. So then they bring out this box, this voting booth that looks like a Pac-Man retro video game from the top.
Yep.
And
I knew it was
so
coming though. I knew it was
he knew it
coming.
was coming. How'd you know it was coming?
Because on the show there was the whole voting process of like players being able to vote to leave the game. So I was like, we gotta have a vote because I kept telling my folks, I was like, there's gonna be a challenge where we have to vote on something where we got to push the keys in because they did it on the show and it'd be super dope for us to do it in the dorm. So I had already talked about it with my friends. So when it came out, I was like, hey man, this is the vote. We about to do the vote, baby. But I didn't know they're gonna be like, the first 3 players they get their numbers put in and put on the screen, and who has the most votes is gonna go home. So I was like, ooh, this is about to be savage. So what I did
Yeah.
was I was like, my whole strategy, this entire freaking challenge is out of sight, out of mind. I told Charlie, I was like, look, we sleeping in bed all day, bro. All day today. We're not gonna be seen. People are not gonna be talking about us. We're not gonna put our faces on the floor. Like we don't even want them looking at our faces or our numbers. Let them all strategize against each other and let them sort all that shit out. But we ain't gonna be a part of it. We just gonna lay in our beds peacefully and relax.
Hey, smart. Very,
And that's what
very
we did.
smart decision
We
right
never got
there.
picked. Never
Yeah.
got picked.
Never got picked. It's time to get in line and vote. And everyone ends up voting out 330. Why am I always running these numbers? 330 330 Dr. V,
Yep.
437 or
3-3-7-4. And I think that was Andrew, right?
374 Andy. Yes, Andy Andrew.
Andy.
And then
And
161
then
Lorenzo.
161 Lorenzo. Mm-hmm.
So who do you vote for?
161.
Why'd you
Man, I
vote
went
for
for
him?
Lorenzo. Hey, I didn't even know Lorenzo, but when he went up to Leanne, he was like, "Is your number 302 or 302?" I was like, "This dude's being a dick." I was like, "Hey, that shit's crazy, bro." I was like, just because of that, that's the only reason why I voted for him. I didn't even know him. I didn't even know who I was gonna vote for because to me it didn't matter. I was gonna vote for any random number that was up on the screen because as long as it's on the screen, it really doesn't matter. It's the first 3 people up there, so I didn't really care who I voted for. But after he did what he did, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and put a 1-6 because I
That's
didn't even know
funny.
him anyway. So I was like, let me go ahead and put this in. So I was like, shoot, because he gonna be nasty to the old lady like that. But I was like, but the thing is, I was like, you didn't even have to do it that way. Like you could have done it to where like, because you want to still pick somebody to where you have a higher chance of not having like your numbers going up. So I figure you might pick somebody else that might strategically make more sense. Because I mean, he should have known people weren't going to pick Leanne. You're picking her because she slighted you that way, but you could have picked somebody else who people actually really wanted to get out. Because realistically, the name that floated around all day was TJ. Everybody wanted to get TJ out, and I like TJ. TJ is cool, but that's the only name I heard. I heard TJ. I heard Andy, that heard Dr. B. It was just those three. When Leanne went up and she put up 161, everybody was confused because it was like, wait, why the hell is he going up? They thought it was going to be TJ. And TJ knew it too because TJ was walking around that whole day not talking to nobody because I remember he heard from everybody, people telling him, like, look, bro, everybody's they throwing your name around. They probably going to put you up for the vote. And he was like, damn. So he would walk around. He felt real bad. And he was just not trying to take charge, not trying to be the leader of the dorms anymore. He was just laying real, real low. And all of a sudden, he got that Hail Mary. And they picked
Okay.
Lorenzo instead. And it's all because of that order. It's all about the order in the
Yep.
line.
Yep. Lorenzo said, he was on the podcast, he said, because he was near the back of the line, so when his name went up there, I mean, by the time he went up there wasn't too many people left, and he knew he was kind of going home anyways at that point.
Yeah.
So that's why he did what he did in his exit. So
that makes sense. Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
So yes, those three are voted off the island, and now it is time for the second game. Well,
That
mini game challenge. Yeah, like Mario
that
Party up in
Jack in
here.
the Boxes was
The
savage.
second one. So yes, these 6 boxes come up on the stage. The guards bring them out, and they say they need 5 volunteers. And the 5 Are you thinking about not going up for this box first?
I said, hell no. I looked at that box and said, there's no way in hell I'm not volunteering for anything in this dorm. Like, no way, Jose, it's not happening. I stuck to that the entire time.
Yeah, he said, I'm not doing it, coach. I'm in the back. Don't put me in the game.
Because you put yourself at risk. Like, those situations, you put yourself at risk. Now, Battleship to me made sense because I knew exactly what I was going to play. And I was fine with, like, taking the role of captain. And if I didn't, like, deliver the way I was supposed to, I was fine with going home because at least it was a game that I knew I'd be good at. But I don't know what the hell they gonna make us do. Like, they bring out some random table with some boxes. I don't know what that means. And so for the people who went up there, they got to see real quick, like, dang, this wasn't a good idea. Like, we got 2 self-elimination boxes. Then we got the power to eliminate other players. But see, when you do that and you do it in front of everybody, then you're going to automatically have a target on your back because you're going to eliminate somebody that somebody likes. So it's still not going to turn out good for you no matter how it goes down.
Yeah. I think if you play a nice little middle game, just little social, kind of quiet, you're set up for success in that, as we can see. So the 5 people that step up are 183 Jesse, 375 Joel, 130 Jacobin, 229 Felicia, and 87 Kyle. So they explain the rules. A Jack in the Box can either help a player or give you an advantage, eliminate a player, or you might be eliminated. So we continue with this game, and Jesse is the first one up there. And everyone's a little nervous, but Jesse decides to eliminate number 26 because he says he didn't know her, her podcast is up, and she has a very different portrayal of that story. So if you want that scoop, check hers out.
She sure does. She's from Atlanta too. I was talking to her about it. She was she wasn't happy at all.
Yeah, she was not happy with that. And then he eliminates 141 Dash because he was spreading lies around the dorm. Next is 375. He opens up his box and he's self-eliminated. 87 opens his box and must pick one player, and he eliminates 176 Darius. 130 opens his box next. Jacobin, he gets an advantage. Last one is Felicia. So with this last box, are you concerned at all? Are you concerned with any of these people voting you?
Not at all. Dude, I stood right in the front. People were getting behind me because they were like, Brad just sitting right in the very, very front. I'm talking about, I put myself in the front with my number up like this. Da, 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 da. I was like, hey, if you gonna eliminate me, hey, go ahead and do it. Like, I'm not hiding behind anybody. I'm not about to get to the back of the dorms. Like, I'm not about to do none of that. Because at this point, all the people hiding in the back were the ones getting eliminated anyway because they know who they want to get out. Like, they're not just looking around like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. No, they're like, I know exactly who I want to get out. Felicia, she knew exactly who she wanted to get out. So with that being the case, I mean, I wasn't worried about anybody because I had talked to everybody who was up there. So I was cool with every person up there. It wasn't one person up there I didn't have a conversation with, and they were all positive. So I figured, they would pick somebody who they probably had a negative connotation or conversation with. So I was like, yeah, I should be good.
Yeah, no, you played your cards right, and all them knew who you were. And that's the thing, is you don't have to be like best friends with anyone up there, but at least have somewhat of a rapport where I've definitely talked to this person. There's no reason to eliminate somebody I've talked to and had a positive overall relationship with. So you played that perfectly, and you good to go. You just up there chilling because you like, look, y'all can hide. Yeah.
I was chilling, but I felt bad for them up there because like Felicia was crying for like 20 minutes up there. Like even before she even, of course, the way they edited it, it looked like she was crying for like a few minutes, but she was up there like losing it for almost 15 minutes. I was like, damn, girl, she. And we all felt bad for her. We were like, she's uncontrollably just going through it. So I was just like, ooh, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, she had her Mary J. Blige music playing in her head, and it was going
Oh yeah,
down.
oh, it went down.
So she eliminates 130, 243, and 232. So we move on with that. It goes from 70 to 63. Now the game is getting real, and it's time for bed. Everyone wakes up, and then it's time for the next. Well, before they announce for times the next game, they say you all get a reward because these 5 players that completed this task in the kitchen have earned you guys this reward. And so they say you have won a treat, which is lunch, and it is a picnic. How are you feeling when they bring out this picnic box?
Oh man, I immediately told my boys, I was like, look, hey, we gotta split up. We about to play marbles. I was like, right out the gate. Dude, we were too smart, man. Like the whole time we knew exactly what was coming. Like me and Charlie looked at each other, was like, bro, marbles split up. I saw freaking Rob and Melissa. I was like, y'all know, right? It's like, yeah, we're splitting up. And so all of us talked to each other split up, but there were so many people who didn't know. And they were literally playing like their freaking best friend and Trey and Leanne playing each other. And like people did not know. And I was like, how do y'all not know? Because we said from jump, we said from day one on the first episode, like when we first walked to the dorm day one, I said, if they ever say anything about getting to Paris in two, I don't care what it is. If it's a reward, if it's a challenge, if it's any, no matter what it is, if they say get into groups of two, I was like, marbles is coming. And they said pick one person to have a picnic with. We said groups of two, baby, split up. And that's exactly what we did.
This man got his head in the game. I mean, come on now. You can't
Yeah.
fool this man at all.
Hey, but it
This
still didn't
man,
work out.
you know,
It still didn't work out.
that's the next strategy, which, is picking your partner. So, how do you decide who to pick?
All right, so I go to Phil, and then I'm literally just standing next to Phil because he was one of the closest ones over there. And me and Phil are actually pretty cool, so I was just like, you know what? Like me and Phil will go. I mean, I didn't really know anybody else to really stand next to, and everybody was forming together so quick. And Phil was by himself, I was by myself. We're kind of next to each other. So it was like, you know what? Hey, you want to do the picnic together? He's like, yeah. And I know for a fact he knew, just like I knew, that Marbles was coming because he didn't get with any of his friends. So all the people who weren't friend up, they knew that that shit was coming. So
Yeah.
me and Phil, we went in, we got our blanket, we sat down. Then they show like this whole little mural on the ceiling, which is kind of cool. It was like a whole little rainbow sunset like thing. And then we just laying down chilling, and then we start looking in the picnic basket, and then we see that false bottom, and we like, hey, bro, the marbles are like right here. He's like, for real? I was like, yeah. We opened up, like, hey, here go the marbles. He was like, shoot. We weren't allowed to say anything about it yet, so everybody was like just literally enjoying their meals. And we were looking at each other. I was like, "Hey, man, we just gonna enjoy it. Man, we gonna enjoy our freaking reward. We gonna sit here. We gonna have our picnic. We have a good time." So me and Phil laid backwards like this, and I was like, "Hey, man, you want another strawberry? Sure, here you go." I was like, "Hey, you want some more of that orange juice? Yeah, here you go, bro." And we were just like two homies just sitting there just kicking it. We were like, no matter what happens, man, we boys. We gonna have fun with it. We're not gonna be sitting over here stressing over like, all the craziness. Like, we know it is what it is. Like, they gotta eliminate half of everybody in here. There's gotta go down to one person eventually anyway. So I
Yep.
mean, we might as well go ahead and like make the best of it. Enjoy this freaking amazing picnic and laugh, joke, be in positive energy and call it a day.
That's right, man. You already know what time it was. And I will say, I think that a lot of people got in pairs were kind of, to an extent, I won't put words in anyone's mouth, but I think to an extent introverted in the game just because it's kind of obvious, like getting pairs. Like if you've seen the show at least once, like just use your brain a little
Absolutely.
bit. But I think
Absolutely.
that the people who like Trey and Leanne, they kind of stuck to each other for the most part. They didn't really they
Yeah.
Leanne I got to, hang out with often, but Trey kind of he was quiet. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you're quiet and you don't go around to too many people, you don't get this intel. You don't really you're just kind of stuck in your own little world. And they say get in pairs. Oh, let me stick with you because you're my friend, and I haven't really talked to anyone else to kind of get my brain working in a different direction per se. And so I think the friends that got together, they weren't all the way in the thinking about the game. They were kind of, I don't want to say thinking emotionally, but honestly, they might have been thinking emotionally just because, you're tired, you're malnutritioned, and et cetera, et cetera. And so that was part of it. But Brad had his
Mm-hmm.
head in the game and knew what was going on. So we find out it's marbles. Whew. And we get into pairs, head on to the arena. And once you get inside there, tell me what's going on in your head.
Well, for me, I already knew exactly what game I wanted to play, but my girl Jada ruined it. I'm still mad at you, Jada. You ruined my game. The game was gonna be freaking awesome. I was gonna play Nim. I was like, hey, I'm gonna do the mathematician game. I know how to win this game 100% of the time. I already had practiced it. I already knew exactly what to do. And Phil was pretty much gonna be on board playing it, but then Jada was like, make sure y'all don't play that Nim game, because if y'all play it, you're gonna lose. And I was like, Jada, why? Because I'm not really that good with skill throwing for marbles. Because I don't know, I'm just not that good at it. But I knew I could do like a mathematical game, which I could easily freaking win. Which I had him like literally, I would have had him agree to that game. But she said that, and Phil was like, I ain't trying to play no game like that. I said, I was like,
Oh,
right here.
God.
So
No. Why do you think she said that?
Man, this was before we actually went into the game. So this is when we were just standing in the hallway and production telling us all to be quiet and not talk. And of course, everybody in the line is talking and everybody's talking about what games everybody's going to play. And all this was off screen, just chitter chatter. And that off screen chitter chatter got me screwed. So
Wow.
I walk
So,
in, I'm like,
geez.
dang, I can't play it. So then me and Phil were like, let's try to decide on the game we want to play. And then we said, I wanted to throw it close to the wall because I thought that would be dope. But the only thing is, and then see who got the most closest to the wall. But the only problem is, our wall actually had like a little weird slope on it. So the marbles could have probably hit the slope and rolled down and it wouldn't have worked. So we were just like, let's just dig the hole like they did on the show. And then we'll just start throwing them towards the hole. Call it a day.
He
So we
dug
just
the
got simple.
hole.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
dug the hole.
So tell me how
Yeah.
the game starts out and how the game proceeds, because unfortunately we don't get to see too much of your guys' game on camera.
Yeah, y'all don't see ours at all, which I'm like, thank God. Because that game was a train wreck. Like, so me and Phil are both bad at marbles, right? So he hits his first shot. Literally right off the bat. I said, oh crap. I was like, he hit his first shot. I throw, I miss. He throws, he missed. I throw, I miss. He throws, he missed. We're both going back and forth. We keep missing. Gets all the way down to the end. We both miss. Literally 1-0. He hit the first shot and was able to make it. And I hit no shots, and he could hit no shots after that. So it was literally just a 1-0 match. It
Oh
was
my
so bad. I
gosh.
was like, this match is terrible. And I was like, I couldn't even sink one. I was like, I could at least sunk one. And I got close to it, but it didn't sink. But on the show, when you watch it, it looks like we got a whole bunch of marbles that are close to each other. And nobody could tell what the score was or how we were actually keeping track of
Mhm.
what the hell we were doing. So I'm actually glad about that because I didn't want them to shut it. It was just a 1-0 shutout. I was like, that's just so
Wow.
bad. So
So,
yeah.
that's devastating. So, sadly, that is where our friend 337's journey ends, is a marble game throwing it in a hole. So,
Yeah.
how are you feeling once you get back to the hotel and everything's settled?
Oh, dude, I was smiling the whole time. When I got to the Miz, they're like, why are you so happy? I was like, y'all don't realize I'm about to get the biggest steak, the juiciest hamburger. If I got to get a lobster tail dripped in freaking garlic butter sauce. I was so hungry. I was like, I get to enjoy food again. Like I was so happy about enjoying food again, bro. I literally popped. And then on top of that, I mean, to be honest, like I literally only played this game just to have fun and just to meet friends. Literally, that's it. Like a lot of people, I don't know if they watch my social media or whatever, but I'm already a multimillionaire. Like I literally run a multi-million-dollar company. Me and my wife built one of the most successful home healthcare agencies in Georgia. I have 200 employees that work for me. So the thing is, like, to me, I didn't care about the money. Hell, like the money was just gonna be one of those things where, and it's funny because I told production this, they were kind of mad. I was actually gonna split it up between a lot of the players in the show because I wanted to give back to the folks in the show because of how stressful it was for them. So I was literally going to be giving back a ton of money to all the contestants so they could just have a ball. We just have the biggest freaking party ever and just go crazy insane. So that's how I was gonna do it, but it never happened. So for me, it was never about the money. All I wanted to do is go in there, have a good time, and enjoy meeting some amazing people and have fun, man. Like that's what these shows are about, is just enjoying yourself, not allowing yourself to be stressed and being in the moment. Like you're on a production where you have the opportunity of a lifetime to do something that literally less than 2% or 1% of the world would ever get to do. So you just got to enjoy that moment.
Yeah, no, that's honestly one of the best perspectives I've heard. I mean, you had nothing really to lose, only to gain, and you gained a lot from it. I mean, you're probably the happiest spirit in there, and everyone, some people might know context a little bit about you, but at the same time, they're probably not thinking about that. They're just like, devastated in their own minds because of the travesty of marbles. But yeah, that's amazing. I mean, you definitely should have won the whole show.
Nobody knew about like my background. I didn't tell anybody. All I told them is that I take care of kids with special needs, which is what we do. Like we take care of all kids that are wheelchair bound that need like nursing care assistance in the home. So,
You didn't tell
um,
one person what you did? Not one person.
not one person. Nobody knew.
Okay.
Like nobody knew. When we got out the games and everybody saw on Instagram, it was like, bro, what the hell? You got six exotic cars. You got two Lamborghinis, a freaking McLaren, Bentleys, freaking Rolls Royces. They're like, what's going on? And I was like, all right, so now I gotta come clean.
They thought like, are you a plant? They probably thought you were a plant or something.
Yeah, they had no clue. And then the people who came to the house for the freaking party, they was like, nah, this is legit. Like
Yeah.
he pretty much practiced what he preaches. This is all official.
Yeah, no, that's
So
lit. I mean, definitely kudos to you. And you got a good soul, heart, and spirit for even, considering what doing with the money, what you said. And, I give you huge props for that, because there's not too many people in the world that would, let alone the game, even think about, sharing anything that they won, even if they did have the money and they didn't need it. So definitely kudos to you on that, because I probably couldn't count one other person that would have done that. Even I couldn't, even if it was Donald Trump, he would have been like, it's my money. So
oh yeah, oh
definitely
yeah.
proves a lot about your character and who you are. And I definitely highly, highly respect that. So you get, how's it feel being back home after everything is said and done? Like when you fly back to Atlanta.
Oh man, when I came back home, man, I literally went on like multiple vacations. I think me and my wife traveled for like damn near 2 months. So we were just going from country to country to country, bro. We were all over the place. Like I was just literally just traveling the world and having a blast and eating as much food as possible, getting my weight back up. I was like, shoot, I'm about to go out here and eat. We about to chill. I think we went to Monaco, we went to Spain, we went to Italy, we freaking went to Cancun, we went to Puerto Rico, we went to freaking Jamaica. I'm talking about like we literally just traveled. We went all over the world. Like we was just having a blast. So
Yeah.
that's really all I did.
That's
Just have a
lit.
blast.
That's lit.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a cheers to that. If I had a drink in my hand, cheers to that. Yeah, I traveled in Europe that summer. No, yes, that was this summer. Jesus. Yeah, I was in Europe that summer myself, going all over the place. So definitely it was a good time. And hopefully you got to, I saw you got to see some of the people when you was traveling too. I think Rob, you was somewhere with Rob, and
Oh yeah, I traveled with them. So me, Rob, and Charlie had went to Colombia, and then we also did another. We did our Squid Game meetup in Miami, which was super dope.
yeah,
Hanging out with you guys there, and then they all came to Atlanta that one time, and then came back to Atlanta this other previous time. Actually, no, they came to Atlanta twice. Actually, so it's been 3 times. So this last time for the viewing party was the third time because the second time was for my birthday. So I had a lot of Squid Game members come down for my birthday, and then after that we have the release party. So
yeah,
we've been doing a lot of hanging. We've been hanging tough.
yeah. No, definitely. Brad has been practicing what he's been preaching in revolves of keeping the fam together, which is highly respectable. I mean, I can't say it enough times. Because it's hard. It's not easy to open your home and open your heart up to it's essentially a bunch of strangers initially, but soon to become strangers turn to family, and even have that camaraderie. It takes a really giving and loving person for that. And so I 100% commend you for that.
Man, I appreciate you, man. You
Because
know, we
yeah,
brothers for life, man, all day.
exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly. You know what's
All
up,
day. That's
man.
my brother, baby. That's my brother. Y'all be messing with DeAndre, man. I hear something like, I
Woo!
gotta come for you, man. That's my guy right there, man.
Hey,
That's my,
come on now, man. I
that's
might
my
have to
guy right
come
there.
after if somebody want to come thugh, my man. So I'm right there. I'm right there.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Squid fam, we
man,
stick together, baby. I'm like, let's go.
exactly. Well, didn't win the money this time, but you definitely won a lot more things than that, I can say. And your character exudes the amount of money that was in that piggy bank 1,000 times over. And I can't say it as many times, man. I really do appreciate you coming on the podcast. This was great. One of my favorite episodes to date. I will say that.
Hey, let's
And
go. I appreciate it, bro. Let's
yeah,
go. It was a lot
you
of
got
fun
the
anyway, man. We had a blast. Like, this was
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, definitely with the things in the game and after the game. So
Yeah.
good vibes all the time. I appreciate you, man. I can't wait to see you soon. And with that, we going to conclude this episode of the Aftermath podcast, y'all. Till next time, peace and blessings.
And make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to DeAndre all day. Because
And
his
like shit
content is
before we get
fire.
it before can you tell before we get out of here, can you tell the people where to find you on social media?
Oh, yeah. I'm just at Brad.337 on Instagram. So you hit me up there. So it's literally my name and this shirt number, like Brad337. That's it.
Hey, go follow this man now. Get your phones out and follow this man. Come on, do it.
Hey, let's go.
Peace.